Welcome to World Building Wednesday, the first episode, and in this series we are going to be talking about how to create the world in which you are gaming. This will be separate from storytelling. It is really about building the environment and how you would populate it, what sort of terrain features there are, what kind of towns, and how you would start building. So thank you for all the people who already support me on patreon.com/70system. If you like these videos, click the like button. And of course, leave a comment in the section below if you'd like to see anything in particular or have any suggestions that go over and above what we talk about in these videos. Subscribe and click the bell if you want to get notifications when these come out. So this first video is about how to start building a world. Now, there's a lot of videos where you see people starting to draw a map of the whole world or a continent or a country or whatever. While there's nothing wrong with this, you are setting yourself up for a hell of a lot of work that you may never actually use in the game. So if you are going to do something like this, of course, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Just be aware of the fact that it should be very light. So don't go heavily into detail in terms of town names and seas and, weather patterns and getting, that way, because you're putting a lot of work that half the time the players are never actually going to get there. So the best way that I feel, and of course you can disagree with me in the argument section below, is that you start very small. And by very small, I mean even a hamlet. Just a little hamlet that has 10 houses in it and a population of 25. Starting this small gets you those creative juices you want to be doing on the macro scale, you can apply to the micro scale. So you start to make this little hamlet very detailed in terms of the people that live there, the resources the town has, the terrain features that are around it, all these kind of things that will make it seem a lot more realistic when you're describing aspects of this to the players. The world then builds fractally from that. And I say frankly, it kind of grows out in sort of weird organic dispersions away from this initial kernel of a place that you've created. So when the players depart from this town or go on quests or explore areas outside of the town, you begin to build upon those areas using that as a base until you get to other areas. We say, okay, we're coming to a town now, and this allows you to know where the players are wanting to go, how you're going to put things together, and where to put your efforts in terms of world design. Of course, if you are going to be publishing a world setting or something like that, then of course you need to think more macro than micro. But this also allows you, when you're telling your story, to just throw in elements that you may think is cool at the time, which you may not have thought of pre-game. So a lot of things start to happen in a story where the characters do and say things, and you just hit on that is a fantastic idea. I should have a city where this is what's going to be happening. Now, if you've already drawn the map, you can't have that city because you've already created the macro world. You've already created what's beyond the mountains. When you don't know what's beyond the mountains and the characters begin to explore, you begin to explore as well. You begin to think, what should I put beyond these mountains? What would be interesting based on the culture and the terrain and the type of people that have been in this starting point? What would be over there? Do they fear what's there? Have they always wanted to travel there? Do merchants come from that direction? Is there a road? What kind of weather happens there? You can begin to build all of this into the detail of your world, starting small and getting bigger. As we continue on with this series, we'll start to talk about things like terrain and resources, various different starting points, hamlets, villages, towns, cities, metropolises, etc. If you were starting in something like Metropolis, you can start with just a small neighborhood within the metropolis. You don't need to do the entire metropolis. And the same sort of advice is useful here as you begin to grow the metropolis out as the players explore it. Politically, who runs the town or the neighborhood itself, there may be a gang that runs this part of the neighborhood, but from a city or metropolis standpoint, they're insignificant to the military power that runs the city, or the thieves guild that they fight against. All these elements can begin to be constructed within the story. Think of them beforehand, before the game. Have some very loose notes. So if there is someone asks you, is there a king in this place? You can say yes straight away, even though you haven't designed it. But if they ask you a name, have some kind of linguistically realistic name, that is appropriate for the village, town, kingdom, metropolis, whatever it is. Hopefully you found this video thought-provoking. If you liked it, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one.